Someone shows you who they are, believe them. That's Maya Angelou, not me, obviously. But what does that mean? A lot of people quote this and they say it all the time, and it was something that even I used to quote all the time, but I don't think I ever truly bought into it. So what does it mean? It means believe them. It means accept the information that you're receiving. The first thing to note when somebody is showing you who they are is that it's nonverbal. It's something that they're doing. What they are doing is who they are. So their actions show you who they are, or their lack of actions also show you who they are. Sometimes people will tell you the opposite to what they're actually doing. So they'll tell you that they love and care for you, but their actions contradict that. Their actions show you the opposite of that. Their actions show you that they don't love and care for you. And so why is it that we often believe what they say rather than what they do? There are a couple of reasons for that. One of them is cognitive dissonance, and that is when you have a core belief, something that you believe to be true. Let's say in the beginning of a courtship, someone told you that they were very altruistic, someone told you that they were very caring and considerate, and they demonstrated these things to you one or two times, and so you took that as a belief. You believed that this is who they are, and you hold that within you as a core belief. But then when they went ahead and showed you that actually they were not as caring as they suggested they were, or considerate. Perhaps they did quite a lot of inconsiderate things relative to the number of considerate things they did. And yet for some reason you still hold the core value to be true, that they are considerate or that they are loving. So this is cognitive dissonance. It's when you're presented with information that is contrary to what you believe to be true, and so makes you feel uncomfortable and you don't like it, so you rationalize it and go, oh no, it's just probably because today was a bit of a weird day, so that's why this person did the thing that they did. Or maybe it was because of something I did. Maybe I said something in the wrong tone and it set them off, and it's not them, it's just circumstantial. So that's cognitive dissonance. It's sort of like a coping survival mechanism, which allows you to remain in a situation without experiencing the full degree of harm that the situation is presenting to you. It sort of saves you from what's happening. But the truth is that the experience that you're experiencing is not real. It's fictional, and it's based on past events that are no longer true now. So what's important here, and this is what I say literally in every video, is to ask yourself, how do you feel? How do I feel right now? That's a question to ask yourself. Ask yourself that question daily. How do I feel? Because what you feel often will have nothing to do with what the person has told you. If they've told you that they are this positive attribute, but their actions show you that they're the actions of somebody who is not necessarily that positive attribute, then it doesn't matter what they say and what they do. What matters is how you feel. How do you feel about it? Do you feel okay about it? Do you feel sad about it? Do you feel angry about it? Do you feel upset about it? Is it fine? Is it okay? Fair enough. Sometimes, we'll try and present ourselves in the best way possible to people, and what we say is often not 100% true. Maybe it's 50% true, and so maybe you can live with that. I don't know, but that's up to you to decide. So when someone shows you who they are, believe them. I suppose this video is based in the context of relationships, but it can really apply to anything. So with regards to believing what people say, or believing what they do over what they say, I've been reading a lot on Reddit about people experiencing love bombing, because that goes hand in hand with ghosting. Typically you will be love bombed and then you will be ghosted. This is a pattern. And the thing to note here, I mean, there are many things to note. Obviously, it's not just one thing, but the thing that I want to that I want to talk about, that's in relation to this video, is that okay. Don't let someone tell you that they love you. Love is a verb. It's not something that people just say. And so when love bombing is taking place, usually there's a lot of flattery involved. The person is saying things to you that you've longed to hear. The person is saying and doing things that you find to be a reflection of your truest inner self that other people are not reflecting to you. So it can have an addictive quality to it when someone is saying that you're wonderful and that you're so smart and you're, you know, the most amazing person that they've ever met, and you feel like home and you feel like 1,000 stars and whatever it is. Like this comes on like very strong and very fast. And look, the reality is that it's insincere, because nobody can just look at a person and gather all this information about them. You have to get to know someone to know that they're wonderful and that they feel like home and that they're this and that they're that and the next thing. And so love bombing, it's a tactic. Like, they do it because they know that it works. And the reason that they know it's working is because they're feeding off of your reaction. If your reaction to someone saying to you that, you know, you're the most whatever person in the world is, me? Oh my god! Like, they're gonna love that shit. They're gonna feed off of that shit. Like, they're gonna keep doing it because they're gonna keep getting that reaction off of you, and they're not gonna want to stop until the point where, like, they realize that they can no longer keep up the ruse because they don't mean it. It's not true. It's not true. What I mean is, it's not true that you're not like a wonderful person. You are, but it's not true that they feel that way about you, because they didn't get to know you. They're just saying things that they know are gonna work to get whatever they want. Whatever it is that they want, they're gonna use this tactic to get it. It's a manipulative tactic. It's emotional manipulation. So what happens after the love bombing phase is the discard. They discard the thing that they never actually gave a shit about in the first place, and to you it's gonna feel like a fucking nightmare. It's gonna feel like the worst thing ever, because, like, what the fuck happened? Like, I was up here and now all of a sudden I'm down here, and you're like, I don't get it. Like, what's going on between here and here? Like, what are the things that happened in this space? Like, did I do something wrong? Like, what the fuck did I do? And the truth is that you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything to deserve the love bombing, because that's fucking weird that someone would just approach you out of fucking nowhere and all of a sudden decide that they love you. It's not reality. We don't live in a fucking, you know, Disney animation from 1982. And of course they discard. Like, they discard. That's what they do, because they can't keep up the ruse. It's an act. It's fake. It was never real to begin with. And there's no way they can sustain it, because they haven't truly gotten to know you. And in reality, like, have you really actually gotten to know them? And so this is where, again, the phrase, when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them, comes in. So the discard phase, the ghosting you, or, you know, just like holding back, all of a sudden they're not as affectionate as they were, or whatever it is, they're showing you who they are. That's who they really are. The first part was an act. It was fake. It wasn't real. And the second part is who they really are. That's who they really are. Like, someone who truly loves and cares for you, someone who really wants to stay in your life and wants you to stay in their life, is consistent. They're consistent. They're going to be nice most days. Like, I mean, and then on other days, it's not that they're not going to be nice. It's not that they're going to be disrespectful or fucked up or rude or anything. It's just that maybe they've got low energy that day, and, you know, maybe they're not as affectionate or as sweet or as whatever. But it's still consistent. There's still like a baseline of, like, you know, and you trust that this person is in your life, and they're really in your life. They're not, you know, putting on an act. And so, why can't I remember this? Why can't I remember this? Yeah, so No, I need to start again. And so don't let somebody tell you that they love you. It's something that you have to feel. Love is a verb. Or what, it doesn't have to be like that, say, oh, I really like you. Like, don't let someone tell you that they really like you. It's something that you have to feel. Like, ask yourself, how do I feel? Do I really feel like this person really likes me? And I don't mean that like in an insecure way. Like, I don't mean that in a way where you're questioning whether you're like worth being liked or anything like that. But it's more like, you know, do the things that they say actually make any sense? Like, and what do they mean? Like, how do they qualify liking you? What does that mean to them? You know what I mean? And again, like, I don't know. I don't mean this like in an insecure way, like that you should be questioning people's motives or anything like that. But it just, all I'm saying is that it has to feel sincere. Like, it has to feel real. It shouldn't just be like, you know, someone saying all this ridiculous stuff about you, but like this ridiculously awesome stuff about you, but there's no emotion like being evoked within you. Like, you don't actually really feel anything, you know what I mean? You're just sort of like being led by these words. So, you know, that's one thing. And then another thing I wanted to talk about was, this is a phrase that I have coined. I call it the resetting brain. So, and it's part of cognitive dissonance. So when, you know, someone reveals themselves to you and it's something that you just don't fucking like and you don't want to accept, and all of this happens subconsciously. It's not like you're sitting there saying to yourself, I don't like this, I don't want to accept this, so I'm just going to accept a lie instead. Like, it's subconscious, obviously, and this is why it's important to examine your patterns. It's important to take a step back and ask yourself how you feel, and, you know, recount things, the events, and what they really mean, and you know, how they truly played out, and not how you wanted them to play out, and you know, recount them in a truthful and objective way, and, you know, maybe take off those, you know, rose-tinted glasses, take them off, throw them away, because they're fucking trash and they belong in the trash. And so with the resetting brain, you're going to find yourself resetting. Let's say a terrible event will take place, you know, someone has disrespected you or whatever it is, and yes, Nelly, yes, Nelly, this is Nelly Cat, Nelly Cat, Nelly Cat, I love you, yes, I do. And so oh, Nelly Cat. An event will take place, which is not an ideal one, and it's really something that you should actually pause to process and accept. But if you're not that good at pausing to process and accept things, what will take place instead is that your brain will just reset. It'll just go, okay, the thing is over now. Let's just go back to the way things were. And this can go on for a long time. This can go on indefinitely. And so what I say in every video is this: you have to process things as they occur. Feel them. If they're bad, like, you have to really feel them. Like, you have to feel the sad or negative emotion. Like, you can't ignore it and just push it to one side and, you know, rationalize it and pretend like there was a good reason for it to happen, and so, you know, it's done now. Because things are never done. Like, they'll just keep coming at you again and again and again until you address them. And so with this resetting brain issue, if this affects you, what you can do about this is to just take a minute, you know, step out of the situation and really feel it. Because I think, you know, for a lot of us, maybe we weren't necessarily taught like how to feel our feelings, or to how to even like label them or acknowledge them. And for this, like, there are many things that you can do. One of them is to look up a feelings wheel. Just type that in Google, a feelings wheel, and what you'll get is like a few basic emotions, like happiness, anger, sadness, and then it'll expand, you know, what happiness could mean, or it'll expand what sadness could mean, and then it'll expand that individual definition even further. So you can really build quite a good lexicon of emotional labels. So then you will be able to identify, like, actually, what am I feeling exactly in this moment? And if it's something that, you know, I have to process, then do it. You know, feel the thing that you need to feel, grieve it and mourn it, and then let it go. And that will help immensely with the resetting brain issue, where if you find yourself in patterned behavior and you're like, okay, a terrible thing has happened again, and you know, I'm not okay with it, but it's over now, so let's just go back to being normal. That's a form of denial. Trust yourself, believe yourself, believe your own judgment. So trust your own judgment. So your judgment is telling you that actually this person is showing me that, you know, their behavior is different to how they sold themselves to me. Believe that. Believe your own judgment. Your judgment is correct. I mean, your judgment and your assessment of a situation is based on how you have felt it, you've experienced it, and it's based on how you want to continue to experience things in your life. So if you want to continue to experience things that don't add up and don't make sense, then by all means stay in denial. But otherwise, you know, stepping out of that is difficult, and it requires processing and feeling things that are difficult and challenging. But you have to do it. You owe it to yourself. You don't have to do it because I said so. You don't have to do it because there are a ton of motivational quotes out there, including the title of this video, which is that when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. You don't have to do it for any reason other than the fact that you owe yourself the truth. You owe yourself sincerity and authenticity and unconditional and true love. You're the only person that can give those things to you. And then once you've given those things to yourself, once you've allowed yourself to be sincere, to be authentic, to be honest, to love yourself unconditionally, then those things will flow into your life. There's something that'll be attracted into your life very easily, and you won't have love bombing taking place. You won't have ghosting taking place. You won't have insincerity and inauthenticity and inconsistency taking place in your life. You have to start with yourself. It all comes from within. As within, and so without. And thank you.